What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Year Zero LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's very well known in the StarCraft 2 Pro scene, and he wants to try his luck and try his hand at going up against the best player on the planet. His name is Lambo. And his opponent spawning top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently the best player on the planet, wants to continue his dominance in the StarCraft 2 Pro scene. His name is Serral. So guys and girls, this game and this series was played at the WCS Spring event and was none other than one of the round of 16 games of that tournament, and I'm really excited about it. We've got Lambo and Serral, two amazing Zerg players to say the least. Both these guys are, absolute forces to be reckoned with. Lambo a lot of times will be compared to Raynor, and Raynor is a lot of times compared to Serral. So these guys are all very, they're similar in skill set. They're both very capable of stealing a game from Serral, that is, as in Lambo and Raynor. But as of lately, it's just been Serral, man. I mean, this guy has just been on an absolute tear, showing why he's the best player on the planet, trying to become one of the greatest of all time in the StarCraft 2 scene. When it comes to StarCraft 2, I mean, this guy, if he wins another BlizzCon, I will give him that GOAT status. But he is absolutely, just dominating the scene, at least, in the time being, working his way, trying to win another event, which would be the WCS Spring event. But that being said, guys, let's talk about what each of these players are doing before we ramble on too long. We are going to see Serral going for that hatch gas pool opener. Very similar build out of Lambo as well. We're going to see the double queen production coming in. We're also going to see some Zerglings starting to move out here. But that being said, guys, both these players, they do, of course, they're very good at that, getting that necessary scouting information that they really need, which I would have to, give the edge there to Serral without a doubt. I mean, this guy just is able to use minimal amounts of units to get scouting information, and is able to do damage with minimal amounts of units as well. It's absolutely incredible to watch him play. But with all of that being said and done, it comes down to one of those things where when you're going up against the best player on the planet, it is a difficult, tall task to go up against Serral. But Lambo is this is a guy who can absolutely he is able to figure out kind of what Serral's doing, because these guys have watched each other's VODs before. They, of course, watch their replays, and they know what each is kind of accustomed to doing in this ZvZ matchup. So I'll be very interested to see what Lambo does here in this first game, as we are going to see him get in that Baneley Nest, as well as followed up by an Evolution Chamber. Serral, on the other hand, both players going for those quick third hatcheries, or getting those third hatcheries, and then we're going to see Serral getting that Roach Warren, and then that's going to be followed up by the Evolution Chamber on his end. So both players are going to go for, those upgrades, those, of course, the ground-based unit upgrades, and we're going to see some Zerglings starting to move across the map now for Lambo, and it does look like we're going to see a little bit of some action towards this third hatchery here. We are going to see some of those roaches that are going to start coming in to aid for Serral. Lambo's going to try to nibble away a little bit at that third hatchery, is going to move out of the way for the time being. But as I said, we're going to see that follow-up here for Lambo now. We're starting to see those techs of choice by both players. Lambo's going for that Roach Warren. We're going to see the lair coming in now for Serral. So Serral's going to be getting those higher-tier lair-based units. Looks like Lambo wants to continue on a little bit of some aggression. He wants to see exactly what is going on. Let's just look here. Lambo's getting his lair as well. Does look like these Zerglings are going to try to move into that natural expansion. We're not going to be able to get very far, at least for the time being. Roaches are out on that playing field now for Serral. Serral's going to have those out. and that's going to be that is going to be helpful. But the thing I love about the ZvZ matchup is just there's many of times, usually throughout the course of a StarCraft 2 game between the ZvZ, you will see just things happening all over the map at all times. I mean, it's just it's crazy. It's a lot of times, as I've said in the past, it's very hard to keep up with sometimes, just because there's so much happening. We're going to see Glauber Constitution being researched, as well as +1 for Serral out of that evolution chamber. The +1s are also happening for Lambo, but he's going to get Nematized Carapace right now, which is, of course, the Overlord speed, which I like that decision a lot. He's going to be able to see exactly what's going on as far as, any kind of, timings on any of these important tech structures. Now, something that we do need to keep in mind right now is Serral is getting the Nidus network in, and I love this decision. Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing. He is going to scout this. Oh, beautiful scout here by Lambo. Lambo is going to see exactly what's going on. And this gets canceled immediately, which is the 4th hatchery. He cancels that 4th hatchery, sees exactly what's going on. But this is what's very important. When you're playing against someone like Serral, you need to know exactly what he is doing. Glauber Constitution, as well as missile attacks level 1, are going to be finishing up in a couple of seconds here. And it looks like, just like that, we are going to see the Nidus Worm is going to start here. Is going to start making its burrowed way towards Lambo's neck of the woods, and it looks like here we go. We are going to see Lambo is going to be caught into an interesting position, but he's going to try to get the surround on some of these roaches. The question is there going to be enough here for Lambo at this point, as a lot of those drones are going to be pulled off the line? Oh man, this might be very painful. Serral has a lot of units. He is target firing down a lot of those roaches at this point, and some of those queens are at the top here. The surround is going to come in. Is it going to be enough, though? Those drones are dropping like flies. Flower Constitution could be finishing in less than 10 seconds, but is it going to be enough? GG is called, and Serral takes a quick 1-0 lead over his opponent before that 7-minute mark hits. Serral takes a lead here and goes up 1-0 against Lambo. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and Lambo, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 2. Alrighty, everyone. Well, game number 2 in this best of 5 series finds us on Cyber Forest LE. Spawning here, the bottom right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up and wants to keep this series rolling in his favor. His name is Serral. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of this game or series just yet. His name is Lambo. Alrighty, guys. Well, this game number 2 that was played at the WCS spring event and was one of the round of 16 games of that tournament. All these games do matter in the grand scheme of things, and I am going to be very interested to see how Lambo especially is going to respond to that game number 1, which Serral, he got the scout. Okay, so Serral goes for that Nidus network switch up. Lambo scouts it, cancels his 4th hatchery, but was almost too late at that point. Serral just overwhelmed his opponent on the opposite side of the map and just kind of was able to take over that first game. Now the question is Lambo, what's he going to do in this game to try to even up the score? Well, it looks like we're going to see a hatch gas pool opener out of both players. You can see at the top left-hand corner of the production tab. Generally speaking, in the ZvZ matchup, you'll see very similar build orders in the early stages of the game, and then as the game progresses, you'll see a change up in those build orders. But I gotta say, if you're Lambo and you're going up against the best player on the planet, what do you do in this current situation? And Lambo, guys, it's very interesting. Lambo, Serral, and Raynor, these are 3 guys in the StarCraft 2 pro scene, all Zerg, players that are being compared to one another. Lambo and Raynor are, of course, haven't been in this scene quite as long as Serral. But they've been compared between the 3 of them quite a bit. And so I'm kind of wondering here, what exactly are these 2 players, Lambo and Raynor, are they going to be kind of the next Serrals? I guess that's like the big question that I've been kind of wondering at this point. simply because they kind of have similar styles, and they played against each other so many times. They know what works, what doesn't work. It'll be very interesting, to say the least, to see what these guys tend to or decide to do as time goes on. We are going to see Lambo going for that lair. He's also going to be getting the evolution chamber. The same can be said for Serral. So both players going for very similar builds here. They are kind of reading each other like a book at this point. Serral not seeing that third hatchery. The same can be said for Lambo. They're not seeing the third hatchery coming in as of yet. So at this point, they're going to feel pretty good about going ahead and, you know, just kind of macroing up a nice economy, and then going ahead and getting, you know, those necessary units that they need, whether those are Zerglings, Banelings, or whatever the case might be. Serral looks like he's going to be sending a few of these Zerglings across the map just to see what kind of scouting information he can get. He very much so loves to be able to see any kind of information. Look at that. He almost was able to get through there. Those queens were just able to get those Zerglings out of there. Now here's a follow-up here that I like. Lambo's going for that Spire, so very interesting play here. He's going to get the Spire, and at least you know, from the looks of it, Serral's just kind of going into his, you know, his standard build. He's going to get that Glowry Constitution, but it does not look like at this point he has no idea what's going on in this main base. He does not even know about the lair that is up at this point either. So that being said, Serral's going to go into that third hatchery, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this, because Serral has no idea that this, you know, that there might be a Mutalisk push that might be coming, or a timing push that might be happening. Now, it does look like this Overseer very well is going to see this Spire here shortly. But the question is it going to be a little bit late here? I mean, this is what Serral does so well, guys. He just is so good at the scouting information, sees exactly what's going on, and he is going to probably drop a few of those spores here very shortly. Third hatchery is not being canceled. It looks like he is feeling very confident, at least for the time being. Glowry Constitution could be finished up in less than 10 seconds for Serral. He's going to follow this up with another Nidus network. Wow, guys. So third hatchery's going down now for Lambo. But here's the thing, is Lambo, at least for the time being, has absolutely no idea what's going on in this natural hatchery. Now, he is going to see this very, very shortly. He sees it. So he saw that Nidus network, and now the Nidus Worm is going to come up near what generally speaking would be the 4th or 5th base of Lambo. And oh man, this is going to get very interesting really quickly, because a second time Serral is doing this to Lambo, and it looks like Lambo's going to put up a few spine crawlers. So here's the thing, is he going to have enough here? Queens are out of that Nidus Worm. They are starting to move in. Here we go. Looks like that third hatchery did get canceled, and once again, this is where it's going to get interesting. Now here we go. Does look like we are going to see Serral is going to start moving in. Lambo's got a nice position, though. I like where Lambo is, at least at this point. He's got a nice defensive structure. He's got a lot of spine crawlers coming down. He knows that this is basically an all-in for Serral. He definitely got that scout in, though, and that's going to help him drastically. There is a ton of spine crawlers at this natural base. Man, this is going to be a tough ordeal for Serral to kind of move in here. The question is how is he going to do it? More and more spine crawlers are coming in. This is going to be a huge push here by Serral. This could very well be a complete and utter all-in, as we are going to see drones that are going to be coming out of that Nidus Worm. It does look like, the question is, it's all going to come down to who is going to have the better, who's going to be able to get the better kills here. And it looks like Lambo is pouncing on this army at this point. Beautiful play here by Lambo. And as that Nidus Worm is going to go down, it truly looks like Lambo has got an edge now. He's in a pretty nice position. Looks like more and more of these roaches, though, are going to be coming out, and it looks like they are going to be coming right after all of these units. Oh, it looks like it's going to try to be an all-in here as Serral's trying his luck. Nidus Worm's going to be coming into the main base location. It looks like this Nidus network is going to be taken down. Those Mutalisks are going to begin flying back home. Nidus Worm's taken out in that main base location. Serral might be in a little bit of a tight position here because, man, these Mutalisks are going to do so much damage right on top of all of those units. Beautiful play here so far by Lambo. Now the question is he overextending here? He's going to get at least one queen, possibly a couple more. GG is called, and Lambo evens up the score. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Lambo and Serral, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 3. Alrighty everyone, well, game number 3 in this best of 5 series finds us on Port Alexander LE. Spawning here, the top left hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. The series is currently tied, and he wants to get this series back rolling in his favor. His name is Serral. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He was able to even up the score and wants to keep this game and keep his momentum moving in his favor. His name is Lambo. So guys and girls, this series that was played at the WCS spring event and was one of the round of 16 games of that tournament has turned out to be a very exciting matchup of ZvZ between these two. Game number 1, Serral just kind of overwhelming his opponent, overwhelming Lambo with the Nidus network switch on him, and even though Lambo did scout it, was a little bit too late. Well, then you get to game number 2. Serral tried a little bit of the same, but this time Lambo said, no sir, it's not happening a second time. You can fool me one time, but you're not going to fool me twice. So now the question switches back into Serral's favor. Or I guess you should say the narrative kind of switches back to him. The series is now tied. Serral obviously is probably not at this point very flustered. He just needs to keep doing what he does best and try to, get the lead back in his favor here with this series, and kind of just go, not doing anything, not making any like rash changes to his game or anything along those lines. Now Lambo, on the other hand, game number 2, it worked out great. So now it's like, what do you do now? Do you kind of try to mix it up a little bit more, go for some more timing attacks on Serral? What do you do in order to get this series, how do you, go up a game against Serral? That would be absolutely huge for Lambo. We're about to find out as we see the hatch gas pool opener coming out of both players from both parties here. And we're going to see the double queen production once again. Metabolic boost is being researched right now for Lambo, so he's going to be getting that Zergling speed upgrade a little bit quicker than Serral, but Serral's not too far behind, at least for the time being. So I gotta say though, I mean, this has been an exciting series. It's been an exciting tournament, really. WCS Spring, what an event, man! It's been absolutely intense. Lots of really great matchups, and that's the thing that StarCraft 2, I mean, when we talk about the strategy game of our time, StarCraft 2, just some of these tournaments, they always have incredible games, like just such incredible games to say the least. And it's one thing that I'm so excited about the future of StarCraft, the possibility of a StarCraft 3, the future of just StarCraft 2 as far as an esport and such. I'm just very excited about it, and I think that we as a community have to echo, more things into existence, that being, StarCraft 3, that being, other things as well, just, the continuation of StarCraft 2 esports. But that's another discussion for another day, as we're going to go ahead and see Serral moving into that Baneling nest. We're going to also see the evolution chamber coming in now for Lambo. So a little bit of some change-ups in build orders, at least at this point. We are going to see some Zerglings that are going to start nibbling away at that third hatchery of Serral. Lambo wants to try to do a little bit of some damage, but here comes Serral as he's got a good amount of Zerglings, some queens, and now he's got some Banelings out on the playing field. Now it does not look like Lambo has really, I guess I'm wondering if he knows about this Baneling nest. He does not know about the Baneling nest, so very smart play there by Serral, not really showing his cards as of yet. I think that's a great decision by his part. But we are going to see the lair coming in for Serral. We're going to see a Roach Warren followed up now for Lambo, seeing kind of what both players are planning on doing as far as their attacks of choice go. See those +1 upgrades beginning out of the evolution chambers for both players. And very similar in build orders kind of up to this point. I mean, you're seeing a little bit of a change up, but here we go. It does look like Serral is going to be able to see exactly what's going on, which is a beautiful, beautiful play here by Serral. What he does best with that scouting information. Just scouting is so crucial in StarCraft 2, knowing what your opponent's doing. Like a massive game of chess, guys. That said, the series is tied. A lot's on the line here because whoever can take this game is easily going to take momentum with them. I don't think there's any doubt there. I just really don't. I think that it's whoever wins this game, it's gonna be a massive ordeal. It's gonna be hard to kind of regain that momentum. I mean, not impossible, but it is difficult. Now here we go with Lambo. This is what I'm talking about. Lambo, just, you know, doing Serral-like things. This is what I'm talking about. Seeing the timings on the lair and such. Just beautiful play. He sees also that those gases are up, but Serral cancels that Vespene geyser. Very interesting play, but there is just units all over the map. I mean, we can see, you know, a Baneling just sitting here in the middle of the map. Man, he is just chilling. Look at that. Man, don't they look like ticks when they're full of blood? I mean, you gotta love the Banelings, so you just gotta love them, man. They are made to blow, right? That said, we are gonna see a bunch of Zerglings moving out for Serral over towards that third hatchery. Now, here's the thing. Does he know about... He does not know about this fourth hatchery. It does look like some Banelings are going to try to get a little bit of some hits in here as more Banelings are going to be hiding. But it looks like Serral might... Oh, man! Nice Baneling hit there. Now, it does look like Serral at this point is going to... is most likely... gonna know about that hatchery at this point. I would be surprised if he missed. He does not know. Oh my. He doesn't know, but once again, Serral is going for the Nidus Worm. And this is so interesting because my question is Lambo doesn't know this. So this is the first time Lambo has no idea that this is coming. Oh my god. This could be... And a GG is called already. Lambo prematurely GG's, knows he was outplayed. And you might say, guys, that was a significant premature GG, but he knew that he was caught off guard there with the Nidus Worm, and there was no way that he was going to be able to hold on. Serral regains the lead, takes a 2-1 lead, and goes on match point. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and Lambo. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 4. Alrighty, everyone. Well, game number 4 in this best of 5 series finds us on New Repugnancy LE. Spawning here, top left-hand corner, or I'm sorry, the top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of this series just yet. His name is Lambo. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently on match point, wants to close out this series right here and right now. His name is Serral. So, guys and girls, this has been a very exciting series that was played at the WCS Spring Tournament and was one of the round of 16 matchups of that tournament, and it has definitely lived up to the hype. I gotta say, the longer I've been casting StarCraft 2 games, the more intense the games get as time goes on. I mean, every tournament it gets more and more intense, and just the different builds, and it's just different, seeing the different metas and the different build orders and the different unit compositions. It's so exciting, and this has been one of those series that's been very exciting because both these players, you can tell that Serral has the edge because he just outsmarts Lambo at times, but Lambo takes so much from Serral. You can just tell that it's almost like Serral has to play against himself because Lambo and Raynor are these two guys who are, you know, they are guys who are definitely mirroring some of the things that Serral, you know, what he's been so successful with. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, it's one of those things. It makes it difficult for Serral. He has to kind of come up with different strategies in order to beat his opponents, because they're starting to learn what he does and how he wins his game. So there's just so many ways that Serral has to try to win matchups, and it's just it's a beautiful thing. It really is. That being said, though, guys, we are going to see hatch gas pool openers out of both of our players here. And it looks like, those double queen production. We're going to see the Zerglings that are going to be popping out of the cocoons here shortly. We're going to see metabolic boost, which of course is a Zergling speed upgrade that's being researched by both players. And it does look like we are going to have ourselves, very similar, production tabs, at least at this point in the game. You'll see that a lot of times in the ZvZ matchup. Usually, if you're talking about a macro-focused game, generally speaking, at least in the early stages of the game, you will see very similar or near identical production tabs from these players. But I will say this: if you are a Zerg player or someone who really enjoys, or that's your primary race that you play with when you play StarCraft 2, definitely, there's things to learn from both these players from a series just like this one. The timings and such. So I would highly recommend, studying these players and kind of some of the builds that they go for if you're struggling with the ZvZ matchup. That being said, we're going to see the third hatcheries coming in for both players. Looks like there are Zerglings on either side for either opponent, kind of nibbling away at these third hatcheries, trying to, take away a little bit of that HP. But that being said, it looks like that is going to be shoot away, at least for the time being, from Serral. And Lambo is going to keep on trying to kind of nibble away here. If he could get the cancel on this, that would be huge, but it does not look like he's going to be given that opportunity. But the thing that I love, and I know that lots of people knock the ZvZ matchup, the thing that I love about it so much is that there's things happening all over the map at all times, and that's what makes this matchup so incredibly exciting. We are going to see those Baneling nests are out. We're going to start seeing Banelings coming in now for both these players. Looks like Serral does find one Baneling just chilling out in the middle of the map. And it does look like Serral is going to start to move in here. He wants to do a little bit of some damage. Nice little Baneling hit there. Does look like he is going to try to get some of these drones, which would be a massive ordeal as well. Serral is going to continue the aggression, though, with some of these Zerglings at this point. He is kind of that lost mining time, but more and more Banelings are going to be coming in here. This is going to get very interesting as Banelings are coming in. Oh no, Lambo might be in a little bit of a pickle here as he is trying to figure out what he needs to do. A little bit of I believe some miss micro there with one of those Banelings. Now, it does look like Lambo is kind of holding his own, at least for the time being. But man, it's so back and forth at this point. More Zerglings going into that main, or that natural base location. Looks like it is going to be held off, at least for the time being, and Lambo is going to be able to, fight another day. But one Baneling could really spell disaster for either one of these players, and that's where these matchups get so intense. And it does look like there is still some action going on here, as we are going to see the Roach Horn coming in now for Serral. So Serral's going to get that Roach Horn out. It all comes down to this micro, though. The micro is everything. You got to be very careful how you kind of play this, because you do not want to lose these Zerglings for free, and that is without a doubt. It is just so much that goes into this. The Banelings are coming in. The Queens, though, are kind of that shield here. Lambo's trying to make a move of his own, trying to get into that natural base location of Serral, and it looks like the drones are being pulled off the line once again. But oh man, it's back and forth at this point. Both these players, beautiful Baneling hits there, though, by Serral. And Lambo now is going to have to figure something out, because it does look like there are going to be Zerglings that are over at that third hatchery, and they're starting to try to nibble away at some of those drones. Oh, wow. So back and forth. A very different type of pace of matchup that we have seen in this series so far. Does look like the Zerglings are going to start trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. Banelings are coming out here. Here we go. Oh, it all comes down to the micro. It really does. Oh my god. Beautiful play here. There's a lot of Banelings out for Lambo. I do not think that Serral wants to really go flying into this army composition, at least for the time being. It looks like he is trying, he's kind of a little, not really making up his mind, at least at this point. But that's it. It looks like the follow-up is going to be a lair out of Serral. We're going to see a Roach Warren now coming in for Lambo. We're going to see those +1 upgrades coming in now as well out of the Evolution Chamber for Serral. So it's just more back and forth. Here we go. Oh, you got to be so careful. There are these Banelings, man. They could absolutely decimate your entire army of Zerglings without any hesitation. And that is without question. Now, it does look like Serral is going to try to find an angle, and he's very patient at doing this. He will try to find angles that work for him, but it does look like Serral might have found a little bit of an angle here, as he is going to get into that natural base location. Does look like the Banelings are going to be coming in as well. Those floodgates are now open. It does look like Serral is going to get the surround on some of these drones. This could be absolutely detrimental to Lambo and his supply, as it is starting to plummet here, and all of those drones that are going down as well. He's in the main base now. Serral, being as patient as possible, is now starting to do a good amount of damage here in that main base location. More and more roaches are now going to be following this up here. Oh my god. Gladiator Constitution is going to be started as well for Serral. And it looks like Lambo, he's getting his roaches out, but the question is it going to be enough? Because these roaches are moving down. Now, it does look like Serral is kind of moving his units a little bit away from that natural expansion here, interestingly enough. Oh, man, what an intense game so far. And GG is called once again. Wow. Guys, I'm absolutely puzzled. I mean, not completely puzzled, but just, here's what we'll look at. If we look at this from the standpoint of why, that big question as to why did Lambo GGL? Well, let's look at it. Serral's at 129 supply right now. Lambo is supply blocked currently and is at 91 supply. Serral has the more minerals. He's going on to his fourth hatchery at this point, and it's about over halfway done. And Lambo, even though the past 2 games prematurely, GG'd out, he knew that Serral over time was just going to overwhelm Lambo and his army, because look at all these roaches that are out on the playing field. There's just not enough here. Now, you could say that Lambo could have turned the tide of battle, but the chances of it happening against the best player on the planet were very, very slim. That being said, guys, I hope you all did enjoy this game and this series between Serral and Lambo. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.